Hello and welcome to today's episode. Today's guest is Gisela Rocha, who started an eco-conscious natural skincare line called UnTamed Natural Care. In 2020, her e-commerce sales doubled. Yes. She's now ready to take the business to the next level, but needs a lot of help in order to do so. So, some backstory. In 2012, Gisela's husband got cancer, and it was during his treatment that the doctors opened her eyes to all of the toxic ingredients that were in all of the products that her and her family were using, from skincare to shampoo, etc. Once she knew about all of those toxic ingredients, she realized that she wanted to get them out of the house. And so she started creating her own products. The other thing during this time is that she realized most of the products that were out there were really expensive and not affordable to most people. So she had the idea to start making her own products and sell them at an affordable price. Everything is under $20. Insert the dilemma. She markets everything as under $20, but does not want to be lumped in and considered a discount or a cheap brand. So while she is ready to take her business to the next level and has really great traction and sales online, she understands that she needs to fix her branding and her marketing, and potentially even elements of the brand, like the name of the company. So sit back as we dive into helping her take her e-commerce store to the next level, as well as take her brand to the next level so she can do bigger and better things. Well, welcome. Thank you for coming on. I'm super excited. Obviously, I heard your story on Clubhouse and checked out your website, and I was like, oh my God, you have to be a guest. So I'm really excited that you decided to come on. So we'll just dive in. So first, if you could just share your name, the name of your business, and what it is that you do.
Yay. Okay. Hi. Thank you for having me. My name is Gisela, and I'm the owner of UnTamed Natural Care. I offer plant-based, eco-conscious, and cruelty-free skincare under $20 because I believe the good stuff can be for everybody. And that's what I do. I make it, I create it, I came up with it in my kitchen, I label everything. It's a one-woman show over here.
Yes, love it. I love the one-woman show. And I have seen a number of people start their businesses in their living rooms or their kitchens and do everything themselves and learn everything and then scale and grow really big. So it can happen and it will happen.
Sign me up, please.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm excited because I love the products. I love the story behind them. So I'd love for you to share. So, you just kind of described you make natural products, but I'd love for you to take a minute to just describe why you started this company and why you started making them, because I think it's an important story that everyone should know.
Thank you. I started getting into, the natural alternatives when my husband was diagnosed with cancer, and it happened right after we had our firstborn. So I was learning to care for a newborn and a chemo patient in the same household, and it was a learning experience, right? Both things. Speaking with a pediatrician and an oncologist, like all in one day, isn't really how you want to start mommyhood off, but that's the way it started. And so I just learned so much through those, through that experience. And once I just knew better, I didn't want to go back. And I remember talking to my husband's oncologist, and he gave us this list of all these things that he couldn't do while he was on treatment. And one of them was, you have to stop wearing aluminum based deodorant. And I'm like, well, what's that? What do you mean? And he's like, well, yeah, the aluminum places a barrier on your pores. Your skin can't detox, and it could mess with the chemotherapy or whatever. And I'm like, well, why do you guys wait till we get sick? So it was really a big eye opener. And as I tried to clean up everything in our house, I realized we couldn't afford it. He was on disability. I wasn't working. I was taking care of both of them. And I went to Target once to buy diapers for my baby. He also had eczema. And I was choosing between buying like a really good eczema cream for him and a pack of diapers. And I felt shame. I felt I felt like I'm a horrible mom because I can't buy this for my kid. And so I left with a cheapy bottle of lotion. Didn't help him, wasn't good. I felt all the mom guilt. And I came home and I just started making stuff. And I said, well, you know what? I'm just going to read because I was reading anyway, right? I mean, cancer, you read a lot. New mom, you read a lot. So I just started kind of doing it in my house and doing it for my family. I eventually did start working. My husband, thank God, is in remission. Things smoothened out, but I couldn't go back. I couldn't just say like, oh, well, now he's better. My baby's older. So now let's go back to the stuff that wasn't good for us. Um, so I kept making it, and my coworkers were trying it, and I was running out of my creations, and I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I'll share it with you guys. And they started telling me they were going to buy it. And I said, oh, no, I don't sell it. Just use it. And this lady was like, no, you need to sell it because I use it every single day. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I remember telling her once, well, you could pay me $8 for it. And she's like, no, but you should be charging at least 12. And I'm like, what are you guys saying to me right now? And then it started going from there.
That is so great. And so do you do this part-time? Like this is like a side hustle that you do, or is this your full-time thing now?
No, it's a full-time thing now. It was a side hustle for a while, and I learned and I made a bunch of stuff, and I would clock out at 5, and I'd drive home, do the dinner thing, and then put everybody to bed, and then at 10 the second shift would start, the entrepreneur shift would start. And it'd be like trying to design my labels and trying to read this and messing things up. And my husband would just wake up the next day and he's like, dude, the house smells really good. I don't know what you were up doing all night, but it smells really good. And so about 3.5 years ago, I quit my full-time job to do this. And now I mean, COVID was like a whole nother thing, right? We're just going to put COVID on the side.
Yep.
But on the side of that, yes, now I do it. And I can honestly say that I work on it every single day. Even when I sleep, I dream about it.
Yay. Yeah. So see, you are a great example for everyone out there, I think, who like has an idea, starts doing it, and then it starts to grow. And it's like, you have to decide, am I going to bet on myself, or am I going to stick with the safe option and just always have this thing on the side? So congratulations, because that's a big deal and it's a big step. And I know, because I, see the numbers, like you're making good money and you're selling. So you're kind of like trying to get to that next level now. And so I know that you have a couple different questions, but I'd love to know right now, I have your Instagram, I have your website that I'll pull up shortly, but in your opinion, what's the thing that you need help with the most that you think can help really like take you to that next level?
So I want to say like I don't know how to scale because I never intended for it to be, I thought I was going to just do farmers markets and events. And then when that was not able to happen, thankfully, all my repeat customers, and they spread the word, about UnTamed, and I was able to establish some sort of e-commerce. And I feel like I got a taste of that. And
so did you do e-commerce before COVID?
I had a website.
Right.
I had a
Okay.
website.
Yep,
I had a
got
website.
it.
People could see some stuff, but I was at the local farmers markets. I was doing the fairs and festivals. I was so
Yep.
stoked. I was going to do the We All Grow Latina Summit in Palm Springs for 3 days, the Natural Product Expo in Anaheim. So I was thinking, right, like growth, but it wasn't so much e-commerce driven. It was more me like hitting the ground, trying to talk to people, do that. Plant the seeds, right? So that later on, but I just had to scale all that back. And now I feel like I'm a little bit lost in how do I scale this e-commerce when I didn't even know it was going to go in that direction. It just kind of did that.
Yeah. That's what millions are trying to figure out now.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that. And I feel I have to say, I know we're all riding like the same crazy wave last year. So definitely not asking, and we're all just doing the best we can.
Yep.
But with that said, I feel like I can do better. I want to do better. I don't see myself going backward anymore. Now that
Yeah.
I've seen this part of it, I am, we've saved up to try and put money into it. And I always thought, well, if I had, $15,000, well, shit, what would I do with it? I don't even know what the heck to do with it anymore. Like, I don't know. I don't.
Right. It's perfect timing. I'm glad that I'm going to be able to help you and talk with you. So I have pulled up your website. And so you threw up a very, very good looking website for someone who just like had to get it done. Cause trust us, we've seen a lot of websites and ones that have been up for years. And this is, a very good start. So good for you there. Love it.
I wanted to share the website. So the theme, the color theme and the font theme that you see now,
Yep.
it's kind of a little bit not yeah, kind of like a newer creation, but that's all going to move into the labels too. So you can see like in the green mask that you're looking at, it's
Yep.
no longer going to be that font. These are all the labels are going to catch up to the font, I mean, to the theme of the website. And
Okay.
that's what I'm working on next is revamping the packaging. The lids will
Love
be
it.
white and so on. So they're going to catch up to the color scheme that you see here and the fonts that you see here.
Okay, got it. Oh, I love that. Okay, so see, already you're doing something that most people don't do, which is already like self analyzing, like what can I improve on? um, and so yeah, updating to, I think to branding that is a little bit more like modern and clean looking will take it a one step further from that farmer's market feel. Not that being someone who sells at farmer's market is a bad thing at all, but there is right, and it's community and it's it's so great, but there is a branding that comes across with that font choice that definitely is a little that like is on the crafty side. And but with your product and everything that you're doing, I can tell you're no longer there. You're already starting to be up here. So good decision for you. Already your gut instinct kicked in there. Um, and then hold on, I'm also going to see, I'm just going to click through to a product and see. Oh, look, you've got your marketing offers set up. Like you have done a lot in a year, and in a year that was really chaotic on everyone. So first of all, congratulations for that. Um, and I love your photography. Like you really are going for it. Like you are going for it digitally, which is fantastic. So you want help scaling. I think that's kind of like the main thing that I'm hearing is like you're ready to take the next step. You just don't know what those steps are. And then what was the second thing that I might be able to help with?
I mean, within that scaling, I think the branding is like what we're talking about too.
Mm-hmm.
But something else that I feel like I have a hard time with and is everybody keeps telling me like tell your story. Like the founder story is like what's going to differentiate you because nobody has the same story, you know.
Yep.
But I've come across several retailers who have said well, actually one person told me flat out, your stuff is too priced too low. You need to raise your prices. And I said, maybe we're not the right partners for each other then, because that's not what I'm looking to do. There's a whole reason at the core of this why it's
Yeah.
like that, because not everybody wants to spend triple digits on skincare or can spend triple digits on skincare.
Yeah.
And I've been told a lot of times, well, how do I get the point across of like, it is a, budget friendly vegan plant-based options without coming off as a discount brand. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like, hey, I've gone to the 99-cent store, like the Dollar Tree, you could spend some time in the Dollar Tree. Like there's nothing wrong with that, but I just want to make sure that quality and purpose always comes across versus, well, if that serum is only $19.99 and this one is, $69.99, hers must be cheap and this one must be better.
Right. Right.
Like I remember when Elf
100%.
wasn't sold at Target.
Right.
And now it's always sold out, right? So I feel like
Uh-huh.
there's room for all these places. And even when you go now to Target or Walmart, a lot of this stuff is still a lot more expensive. And that's why people don't opt for it even when they want to.
Right.
And I just feel like accessible pricing, I want it to just, I'm not going to change that, but
Yep.
how can I market that to where you understand that it's still amazing for you, even if it's only $9.99?
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to unpack a lot. So get ready.
Girl, let me tell you, let's go.
Yeah. She's like, I got my pen and my notebook here ready.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, it, first of all, I just have to say, like, your gut instincts on everything are so right. So, you already have the thing is, like, what separates a great entrepreneur from like an okay one is that like both people started businesses, but one of them doesn't have that like gut instinct of like, I need to change things, or I can see something happening over here. Like, let's start to investigate how to be innovative, or like, there's this new thing called the internet, and a lot of people decades ago or a decade ago were like distrustful of it. But the ones who had this gut instinct were like, I don't know, maybe we should open an online store, right? Like, look at what happened last year. All of the traditional retailers, like we're talking like these are major brands. Um, like they should have been just like killing it last year, but they weren't because they never invested in online. These dinosaurs did not invest. So it's super interesting. Your gut instinct to update the branding, to stick with your original purpose is really, really good. And I commend you. So, first of all, the branding. So you're updating that. I would love to see, and obviously this will be after, but like, please DM me with some of the new styles or what's happening. So if I can provide any feedback, I would love to, and I'd love to help you in that journey because
How
there
about I
are
just
a
ship them to
lot.
you?
Oh yeah,
Like, let me
yes.
just send you a
Uh,
whole box.
yes, love it. And then I can try the product too because so here's the thing. There's a lot of people rushing to be in this category that you're in. So there's a lot of competition. And so the way to stand out in this world is how you're presenting yourself. And you have a unique story. I believe everyone has a unique story, but most people choose not to tell it. You already are telling your story. So I clicked to your About Us page, which if you are listening to this podcast, you can follow along on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Sonja Rasula. And you can watch the video version of this podcast. So right now we are looking at her About Us page, and it tells the story. Like, you have the story there of your family and your husband and learning about toxic ingredients and products. And I think this is really great. I do think that you need to present the story in a little bit of a different way. It's like a lot of font. So people who don't like to read, which is pretty much everyone these days because of the cell phone phenomenon that we, they're going to look at this and they're going to think this is like a novel. And so it's not like, what I want you to do with this About Us page is like, you get to it and boom, the first thing that stands out is that you believe, non-toxic products should be available to all. Because that's the message that I take away when you're telling me your story. It's that, like, being able to have natural, non-toxic, quality products should not only be available for the wealthy. And this is a really big differentiator. So if you can constantly communicate this story, and so you're going to do it on this About Us page. So even though that story is in here, you need to make that stand out with like a headline treatment. So like when people visit this page, boom, they know that that's your story, and then they continue to read about you. When they go to your homepage, boom, they're going to get that story instantly before even looking at the products. And already they're going to be so emotionally attached because they're going to be like, yeah, why is it that the beauty wellness industry has made it impossible for like the average person to have non-toxic products? This is terrible, really. So I want you to learn how to tell that story in a bite-sized way over and over and over again on your website. And so one very, very tangible tip I can say is you have a tiny little photo here of you and your adorable family. It's like, it's a thumbnail photo and then a lot of text. So what I want you to do is, and Canva is a great free online resource. I don't know if you use Canva or not.
Oh, I have the paid version because I love it.
Yes, pro. Me too. My whole team. And the paid version is amazing because you get, I think, 3 or 4 people, team members. So now like everyone can use it. So on Canva, what I want you to do is because your format of your website is wide. So I want you to do a wide photo. Like you need to find a high enough resolution photo that it can go from the left to the right of the screen, like full photo. And if you don't have a photo that large, that's okay. What you could do is have a photo of ingredients for your products, like, a top-down photo of, and again, Canva has free photography. So if some of the ingredients that you use are, I don't know, like what are some of the ingredients?
Well, if you go on the homepage, I think that's what it is. It's like rose petals and salt and oil, sea buckthorn oil, and things like that.
Wait, how do I get? Okay, so this is okay, here. I click the top nav. Okay. Yes. Okay. So you need to get find more photography that's high enough resolution that it's going to be able to do horizontal style photos. Because then what you can do in Canva is take a photo like this, or even just a shot of even just like whipped body butter. Like there's so many different things that you can do. But on top of that photo, then you're going to put that that kind of like tagline or main message, like we believe non-toxic quality products should be available to everyone, or like come up with whatever that tagline is. And you should put that on top of a beautiful photo. So when people then go to your About page, instead of seeing a bunch of text, which is intimidating, and it's intimidating and I'm on a website. If I go to your website on my phone, this text suddenly is like scrolling, like it's never ending. So I want to see on this page one beautiful, I call them the beauty images. So I want a beauty image that's just covers the whole thing and then gives that one message. And then people read this information. And this is a really big block, this paragraph. Just put another line break in. So it's like 3 paragraphs. Because again, more white space it's more attractive to people. And I do want more photos of you and your family. So here's the thing. If you don't have high-res photos, you can take a series of different photos, for instance, of you and your family. Take a bunch of them, put them in Canva, and lay them all out next to one another so it creates, kind of a longer image. And then turn them all black and white. So, because again, you don't want photos that are all like different colors and like aesthetically they've been taken at different times. So, find ways to like present your brand in a little bit of a higher aesthetic, and that will help as well.
Okay,
and
I like that.
I'm so excited to see you change this. I'm so excited. Because also, let me just say, I'm looking at you right now and you are like looking fantastic. And you have your inspiration board with all of the things pinned behind you and your kids' artwork. And like, it's so great. And you're looking like a boss lady. And I'm like, you need a headshot. You need a professional. If you do not have that yet, you need to get that. Cause like, look at you, the earrings, the hair, this is a different version this is not a version that I see here on this About Us page. So like, you need to tell the story, and story isn't telling your whole story. Story is connecting with something. So boom, the story is that we believe in organic, non-toxic products for all. And then people read more about you, but then we need to see the founder, and that's you. And you need a professional headshot for that.
Okay.
Also professional could mean that like your husband just takes photos of you, like
Yeah, no, we have a family camera, and that's where I get my high res images from. I take them.
yes, yes, like set it up exactly. Set it up, but do those boss poses. Like we need photos of you exuding who you are and what you do. Cuz you are a full-time entrepreneur. Like you are the CEO and founder of a natural wellness line. Like that's a big deal. So we need you to up the level by showing us who you are. The other thing I'm going to suggest is right off the bat. I love the color palette, by the way, but I can tell you don't have a logo, right? Is that because you're like in between branding or?
Well, okay, so the heart is our original logo, and what it's
Okay.
made up of is leaves. They're supposed to be leaves, right?
Okay.
But when we changed the colors, we lost the texture. So I need to have that like reworked again, because in the previous heart, you could tell that they were leaves and they were like the colors of
Got it.
nature, whatever. So
Yep.
this one didn't, yeah.
Could not. Okay. It did not translate. But the other thing is this. So UnTamed Natural Care. That is the name of your company, but that is to me that this is not a logo. So I need you to work on a logo because right now I come to the site and it's just like because it's written out like that, it just looks a little kind of like 2012-ish, like, So, but again, I know like you've sold over $50,000 worth of this product. Like this is not just like a little, oh, I sell at the farmer's market here and there. Like this is a business and you're selling. So I want you to have a logo created. And if you don't have one, again, Canva can really help you with that because they have all of these like, choose, is it going to be a circle? Is it going to be a square or whatever it is? Find a font and then make a set logo. And that is going to be your logo for life because anyone can type this out, UnTamed Natural Care. It's not a logo. The logo is something that needs to represent you. So when you go to your website, it's there at the top of the page and it doesn't look like it's typed out. It's a set logo. And then you're going to see it on the packaging. You're going to see it, everywhere. It's also not going to take up this much space. So I'm going to throw this out there because same thing. When people are on their iPads or their phones, or whether it's an Android or iPhone, whatever, this is a lot of real estate that you're giving for you're not getting into it yet. So if I click back and I go to your homepage, this is going to take up a lot of real estate, especially if I'm on a phone, right? So the logo should just be tiny real estate, center at the top, and then you've got your menu. So like the faster people can get to the menu, the better. So when it comes to site, like website architecture and navigation, the goal is that anyone coming to your website can get to whatever it is that they are looking for in one click. So if someone searches for natural or non-toxic products, somehow they end up on your site. They should be able to, by scrolling very easily, get to whatever it is that they want to get to. And so it's great that you have the menu right there because that's how people are going to navigate your site. So they're going to be like, okay, this looks kind of cool. I want to shop all. Boom, they shop. Or they scroll because they're interested and you've got products. You've curated like ways for them to navigate the website, which is great. But this just takes up way too much real estate, this top bar. The other thing is I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to tell that story, plant-based, eco-conscious, and cruelty-free skincare under $20, right? You are trying to hammer across that point. But when it's done in this manner, it looks a little like, it does look a little, not discounty, but there's something about it that doesn't come across the way that you want it to. Because I know you're trying to again, you're telling your story here, and you're also trying to help people so that when they come to the site, they know, oh, thank God, this is like all under $20. This is affordable, right? But
Yeah.
by doing it, by saying that, like sometimes if you say it yourself, people are not then going to trust you. Like if you're the one being like, I'm the best accountant out there, like let me help you with your taxes, you're probably not going to use that person. You're gonna like ask your friends for a recommendation, you'll Google, you'll do anything other than the person who's like, no, 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 let me do them. So I just don't think like instantly, I think you need to get rid of that line, work on a logo ASAP, replace this with a beautiful, simple logo. And because then what people are hit with when they visit your website is the beautiful photography, the fact that you have free shipping on orders over $75. This is great. And they might start to see the very, very beginnings of product photography. And that's how you actually sell products, right? This, like the whole screen is not selling anything yet. And we haven't even scrolled.
Um, what about just removing that top part, period?
This whole
Would
top
that
thing.
make no,
Yes.
just the ingredients, like, because the ingredients, they're a slide. That has slideshow capability inside of like
Yep.
the theme of the website. What if I just scratch that and let
Yeah.
them
And then it's,
right after the ship free, you just hit those three sections: face, body, handmade soaps.
yes.
Would that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. I love that you have I love that you have the slider of most popular items. I also really love that you have testimonials because not enough people put testimonials on their homepage. Because a lot of people have a page that's testimonials, but you're like, that's if the person ever makes it to that page. If someone searches and just happens upon your website and they like what they see in the first, literally, you only have 1.5 seconds to make an impression. If they like what they see right off the bat, they'll start to scroll. And the thing that's going to convince them to go deeper is either seeing products that they're like, ooh, I've been hearing about turmeric. So this will intrigue them. But if that doesn't, something like the testimonials will. So that's really smart that you have that on your homepage. Get rid of the slider, see what happens, see if you like get an increase of people clicking then to these products. But I also do think that sliders can be really, really great, but you need to use like this. Clearly, you only have one image, so it's not actually sliding through. You can create, again, beauty images that are within this slider functionality. So you could create maybe like 3 things. And one of the slides could be like, read more about our mission and our female founder, right? Like that could be a slide. It's text, but it's like that offers a bit of story. And then that's a way to navigate people to then read more about the company, which then may make that connection. Because all you need is an emotional connection, and then people will buy anything from you. So like you just need to make that emotional connection and they will buy from you. So, or it could be this photo that you have, but instead of like currently it's just a static photo. So again, people need cues of how, like they need to be told what to do. I've said this over and over again in past seasons, but like you have to think of this as a magazine cover. So when you're standing in the grocery store with your cart, you're like looking at the gum and the chocolate bars, and then there's the magazines. And it's very easy for us to look at a magazine cover and very quickly know what is inside. So you can use this slider functionality kind of as your magazine cover. So it's like, I want people to read more about me and my story. So there's one slide. A second slide is like, we only use the best natural organic ingredients. People can click on that and read more about the ingredients and the process, and that everything is handmade. And then you could have a third one that is free shippings. In case someone has missed the bar, have something that's about like a call to action or an offer. So like that's just another way to think about how to use some of these functions that exist.
How do you feel? Because I had this idea, but I haven't executed it yet. What if I were to get images that would work with, this slide so that they look beautiful, and then top them off with some sort of testimonial from a customer, like an aerial
Yes.
view of Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Of like, the whip body butters with like the short testimonial and then the shop now right under it.
Yes. 100. You already, okay, listen, I already know you know what to do because you probably are a shopper and you have seen things like this done online. So that, like we all shop online. It's just now like realizing the things that have gotten you to purchase and buy and actually translate that to your own website.
Yeah, cause especially with not being known, I feel like I want to somehow get trust from somebody who doesn't know me at all.
Yeah.
And maybe, the way to do that is by hearing it from someone else, some like a real customer. So that's why I put the FOMO pop up too. Like so and so
Yes.
just bought this, 2 days ago or whatever, because of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, no. These are all great things. You're doing it all. It's just these tiny little tweaks that I think will make a big difference. And keep in mind the testimonials, same thing. So the thing is, this is pretty long. So I'm going to click to the second and the third ones. They're all around the same because, the average person is going to say a sentence or two. So this is talking about the magic roller. So here's the thing. I'm going to read this out loud for those who obviously are not who are listening. So it says, for the first time ever, I have found an eye serum that I can rely on to make me look refreshed every morning. I use this baby at night only. The scent of the coffee is minimal, but yet very amazing. A little of this magic goes a long way. There's a lot in that testimonial, and it's your job to pull the best bits out because, again, people don't have a lot of time and they're like very distracted with everything in life and around them. So for me, I would be like this thing that's like, for the first time ever, I have found an eye serum that I can rely on to make me look refreshed every morning. Like, that's the testimonial. You don't need the rest, right? Or, yeah, because the scent of the no, that's the testimonial. So it's like, it's learning how to edit things down. And, again, this one, it was like, I've been using it on him since he was 3 months. I use it all over his body as a moisturizer. His skin has never been better. Thank you, Sandy. That's an amazing testimonial. So yes, your gut instinct is absolutely right, but these are too long. So put a short, his skin has never been better, Sandy, and it's on top of a photo of that product or, the products to the left and you put the testimonial on the right. Canva, again, is going to be your best friend for this. And put those up there. Because you don't know what's going to grab someone. The thing that will emotionally grab someone may be a testimonial. That isn't the thing that would grab me. Like, my sister loves Yelp. She loves testimonials. That is her personality. So that's going to grab that type of shopper. For me, it's probably more about you and your story for me. But for other people, it may be about the free shipping. We all have different indicators of like what we think is important. So you have to speak to all those things. So yeah, I'm so excited for you to start to just tweak these little things to just and again, getting rid of this altogether, this plant-based, eco-conscious, cruelty-free skincare under $20, at least the way that it's positioned there, because it just looks like type. But again, making that a beautiful graphic, like a beautiful graphic that you do on Canva that says that same thing, but now it has photography or it looks like it's been designed more because maybe there are, that is what then turns something like it looks like someone typed this in to a computer to someone designed this. That's the difference there.
Yeah, because I was going to say, getting rid of that, I don't I've been, for example, I was in a Clubhouse room once and they were like, well, you need to have your tagline. There's so many sites that people visit. And if you're not telling me what yours is right off the bat, then, I get lost or whatever. And so I had this even, from whenever, but I feel like I do want to put this somewhere, at the top, to make it okay, this is what's special, or this is what's different about this site, or this is what this site's offering me versus XYZ. But yes, you're right. I don't want it to look typed out the way that it looks.
Exactly.
So Okay, like that.
And
The delivery.
it's the delivery of it. It's right, because this is great. Plant-based, eco-conscious, cruelty-free skincare. Although what I think is missing, so I am going to tweak this a little bit. I think the toxic ingredients, like I don't think people are consciously aware of what's in other products. So you're showing the pluses here. Eco-conscious, plant-based, cruelty-free skincare. But all of the big companies use cruelty-free too. Because cruelty-free is we don't test on animals, or, there's a different definition. But what you learned about when your husband was going through chemo and going through that process, what you learned about was about all of the toxic ingredients in the products, right? Like aluminum and so you need toxic free. So I think work on maybe the wording and try this in a few different ways, because cruelty-free skincare to me, everyone says that. So that's not truly separating you. Plant-based is good. Eco-conscious, sure. But I think that the story and where you really are unique compared to all these, tens of thousands of brands that are out there, is this idea of non-toxic ingredients for all. There's something to that. And so I'm also kind of trying to get you to get away from the under $20. And the only reason I say that, because it's a great indicator, but you may have a product that's over $20 at some point. So
yeah.
And you talk about scaling, and so it's well, you can't scale if you don't make more money. So get rid of that. But what it is, so again, you take a pen, you have a notebook and you have a pen right there. So write out words, just start to think, what are the words that I associate my company with? Quality, toxic free, or, organic, plant-based. You write all the different words down. And then what you do is you do this exercise of then taking a highlighter and choosing a few that stand out. And even just doing that exercise is really going to help you look at because you have a lot of reasons why your products are great. But once you see all that, you can really focus and narrow in on a few of them. And I think the word affordable, quality and affordability is super interesting to me from a storytelling perspective. Under 20 says under 20.
How about accessibility?
Yes, absolutely. And
I've used that also.
Okay, that is such a good one. And the idea that it's not exclusive, but it's inclusive, right? I'm trying to think of all the different companies now that work in and play in this world of products for all. This is the idea. So yes, I already love that you already knew that word. So work on that. You're gonna figure out this tagline and then you're gonna have it. And it's going to, I already know the things to do to make it stand out, tell your story, but not look kind of just basic and not have this cheap quality, which I know was one of your concerns from the beginning.
And I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm also going to drop care. I already bought the domain. It's going to be UnTamed Naturals. I feel like UnTamed Natural Care.
Yes, love it.
It's long. It's 3 words. And so I wanted just UnTamed Naturals.
All of your gut instincts are right on. You just needed a little bit of a push. That's all you needed. And the thing is, so because we're kind of running out of time now, and we didn't really get into the scaling part, but because I think before you're ready for that, you have to tighten and tweak all of these things, right? Because you can't, I believe that brands aren't ready to truly scale and grow until they have worked out all of these little things. Because when you talk about scaling, you're talking about volume, which includes a volume and an increase of people coming to your website, looking at you on social media, Googling you. Like the first things that people now do, like when they hear about a brand or like they go online immediately, which means they're judging you. That's like, that is hands down, that's what they do. So all of this has to be like so tightened up that you're just like, boom, here I am, UnTamed Natural. It's a logo. It's beautiful. You know, you've told your story. You have like, that's what you have to do. And then we can have the conversation about scaling. But you're not necessarily ready to scale yet because you're still working out the kinks, I think.
So do you think, because this is what has been on my mind a lot lately, do is it something that maybe now I need to hire help for this? This is not my specialty, right? But we all wear the hats that we have to wear
Yep.
until we've worn them out and we understand that. And I will say I am proud of myself for getting to where I've, gone, gotten to.
Absolutely.
I didn't know what a high res image was ever. I'm like, who does that? But so to get there and to get there in the most efficient way, I'm starting to consider that maybe I've stretched myself out as much as I can in this aspect. Should I just be hiring help to do this?
Yes. Yes.
Because I love Canva. I love Canva, but as much as I love Canva, I'm not, I respect the aesthetic of a graphic designer.
Yes.
I know that that's who the professional is, and I don't pretend that anything that I can come up with is going to be as good as them. And so am I at the place where now I need to pay them and pay for somebody to do, more of whatever may be. Yep. I had BuzzFeed, right? Reach out to me and ask me some things and ask for headshots of me. And I was like, oh my God, it's BuzzFeed and I don't have headshots. And this was just recently and I was dying and I went and got some headshots or some, pictures and I sent them to them. But I'm like, I can't just not be prepared. So yeah, maybe I need to hire help, but I don't know if I'm there yet.
No, you're there. So here's the thing. Oh, and by the way, though, this shot of you in the apron, like, listen, you need to recreate this shot. You need to recreate the shot because this is a great headshot. It's just like have a photographer take it and pull back a little bit more. But because it's like, check out my friend Ellen, who owns this apron company, Headley and Bennett. She's very, very good and is always known from the very, very start of her company that like her having photos of herself making the products or looking like she doesn't even know how to sew, but she owns this multi-million-dollar like apron company. This shot is everything. I can see the ingredients behind you. Like you need this done. And you take a whole series of them, like your hand here, holding a product, a little closer in, fuller, vertical, horizontal. Like you need to take these photos and you don't just do a headshot. You need like 30 photos that you can use of yourself, but they can all be taken at once, just slight differentiators. So anyway, yes, you are ready. You know what you're doing. You have products. You're about to rebrand. You're going to tweak the website. And I think that it's time to find someone to help you because then what you're going to concentrate on is the selling of the products, going out to different local stores or reaching out to larger chains, telling them your story. After last year, I think a lot of larger corporations are even more interested in trying to find like women of color, female founded brands. You need to be like pushing yourself right now, but you can't do that if you are also running the Instagram account, doing all the little tweaks in graphic design. So yes, find someone to help you. You can go online and post something, but I always say your own community is the best place sometimes to find people. The other thing is you can also trade product because a lot of small business owners, like you don't need to pay someone $1,000 for like a logo, a style guide, a this, that, and the other. What you could do is ask your community, are there any graphic designers? I'm looking for like a new logo. I'm looking for this, and right now I'm a small solopreneur, but I can give you X amount of dollars worth of products. like there are ways to barter and trade with people. So it doesn't have to be something that's super intimidating. But Canva really does, I gotta give them props. They do a very, very good job with like a lot. So I think you might be able to do some of the stuff yourself too.
I feel like maybe my I don't know, my aesthetic is not there. Like I don't know how to elevate it more than I've already, I mean the colors and all of that. I've chosen everything up until now, but I feel like I'm a little stuck. Even the labels, most of the labels are already made, but the reason why they're not getting printed professionally yet is because I'm debating just hiring someone to look them all over, not create them from scratch, because I do love how they look. But just to give them that, like level them up, do whatever it is that the graphic designer does, play with the fonts, the spacing, just to level all of them up, and then, invest in printing thousands of labels, because I don't know. And that's where I get stuck, but thank you.
Well, you're going to be able to do it because you're going to look for help. And the other thing also, honestly, I'm going to throw out, this is my last piece of advice, is look to the companies that you like, right? What are and it doesn't have to be like beauty or wellness brands. They could be clothing companies. They could be a shoe company, but like look at the details in their branding. Like, like, do you gravitate towards certain styles? Because this will help you when you're also talking to the designer, because they do need some sort of like guidance. So it's like, what are those brands that you like? Because then that's an easy way to point someone to like, I love this brand because of this. I don't like this brand because of this. Some people really like fonts that are handwritten. Others, they want a very, very modern, clean, simple font. So it's like, these are ways that you can also help a designer narrow down the look and feel based on what you like that's already out there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can go with that. Thank you so much. I feel like I just talked to my friend, but then you still schooled me.
Today's top takeaways are: number one, your story and your founder story is so important to the business, and it's what separates you from larger companies. It is actually your competitive advantage. So your about page needs to be really, really solid. You need to have great, beautiful photos of yourself. You can have behind the scenes photos. You can have portraits of yourself. You can have portraits of you making the product, but really great photography is going to help you tell that story. And then you need to be able to communicate the mission of the company, who you are, why you started the business, but not overwhelm people. So again, the importance of that about page and your founder story is really, really crucial in helping people get to know you and have an emotional connection to you and your business. Number two, customer testimonials are so important and very underutilized. So many small businesses out there forget to put customer testimonials and reviews on their website. But here's the other top takeaway. Having them on your website is one thing. Having them on your homepage is a completely different thing. They need to be on your homepage. You have to remember that most of your web traffic is coming to your home page first. Also, why not design graphics that have those exact same customer testimonials and post them to social media, to Instagram, to Facebook, to Pinterest? So utilize those customer testimonials to help evoke a sense of trust with potential customers. And takeaway number three, language is important. Words are very, very important. Never discount that. So as you heard today, using a term like cruelty-free is okay, but Everyone uses that. Again, you need to pull out what is unique about you and your brand and your products. And you also need to be aware of the language. So in talking about the company today, there were words that weren't being used, even though when I asked about the company, they were used. So words like non-toxic ingredients, that kept coming up in our conversation, yet that wasn't one of the words that was on the website or used to describe the products on packaging. So sit down, take the time to do an exercise, think about what words are important to your brand, your products, and then narrow those down. Choose the ones that describe why you and your company are unique and go with those.